Good day everyone, I am Mariclay Mapolo from BSET English 1A, and today I will going to discuss about the flow chart to determine the eligibility of ID, and I will explain the process of identifying children with intellectual disability using the flow chart provided by the Connecticut State Department of Education. So, the first step is the initial observation and intervention. So we begin with the effective general education with early intervening services. So when a child is suspected of having a disability, they receive various interventions within the general education setting to address their needs. So child suspected of having a disability when a teacher or parents or another individual suspects that a child may have a disability. The first step is to address these concerns within the general education setting. So this is important because it allows the child to receive support early on without immediately resorting to special education services. So the idea is to provide the child with various interventions and support strategies as part of their regular education. So this intervention could include tutoring, small groups, instructions, behavioral supports, and any other strategies designed to help the child succeed. So for an instance, if a student is struggling reading, the school might provide extra reading support sessions. So use different instructional materials or employ reading specialists to work with the students. So the goal is to see if these interventions help the students catch up with their peers, and this approach aligns with the principle of providing support as early as possible to help children succeed and potentially prevent the needs for special education services if their needs can be met within the general education framework. So the next step is the referral to special education. So once initial interventions in the general education settings are tried and concerns persist, the process moves to a referral for special education. So this step involves a series of checks to ensure all necessary criteria are met before the referral proceeds. So the first is the decision box. A student has been exposed to the curriculum for at least a year. So it's important to confirm that the student has had sufficient exposure to the school's curriculum over a meaningful period. So typically at least 1 year, this duration ensures that the student has had ample opportunity to learn and demonstrate their abilities, that any identified difficulties are not due to lack of exposure to the curriculum. So, for example, if a student has been attending school regularly for at least a year but still struggling significantly with reading or math, it suggests that their difficulties might not be due to limited exposure to the curriculum. So, the two is intervention strategies have been tried and documented. So, before referring a student to special education, schools must attempt various intervention strategies to address the school's needs. So these strategies should be appropriate to the student's difficulties and consistently implemented documentation, and it's crucial because it shows that the school has made reasonable efforts to support the students within the general education setting. So it provides a record of what interventions were tried, for how long, and what the outcomes were. So for example, a student struggling with behavior might receive support such as behavior modification plans, counseling, or classroom management strategies. So the school needs to document these interventions and their impact. And the three is the data have been collected on students. So this step ensures that all relevant data has been gathered to inform the referral decision. So the collected data should show if it does not meet the benchmark expectation, and the data should indicate that the students is not meeting the expected academic benchmark for their age or grade level. So despite receiving interventions benchmark, expectations are the standards performance level that students are expected to achieve. So this decision point ensures that throughout and fair process, they verify that the students' challenges are not due to external factors like insufficient exposure to the curriculum or lack of appropriate instructional support. So, if all these conditions are met, the referral to special education can proceed. So, by indicating a need or for more specialized evaluation and support, this detailed process ensures that all necessary steps are taken to support the child within the general education setting before moving forward with special education services. So the next is the steps 3. So comprehensive evaluation. So the comprehensive evaluation, it is once the decision is made to refer students for special education, a comprehensive evaluation is conducted. So this evaluation is crucial to gather detailed and specific information about the students' abilities and needs. So these evaluations is thorough to a multifaceted, aiming to provide a complete picture of the student's performance and needs. It includes various assessments and observations to gather to comprehend data. So, number 1, a student's present level of performance. So, this involves assessing a student's current academic and functional performance level. So, academic performance includes skills in areas such as reading, writing, and math, while functioning performance include skills necessary for daily living and school activities. So the goal is to establish a baseline understanding of where the students is currently functioning in relation to their peers and age-appropriate expectation. So for example, if a student is struggling in math, the evaluation will look at their specific math skills, such as problem solving, computation, and understanding of mathematical concepts. So it might also include the observation of how the students approaches math tasks in the classroom. So the number 2 is whether the student has a disability. So this step is about determining if the student meets the criteria for any disability category under Individuals with Disabilities Education Act or the IDEA. So the evaluation look at whether the student's difficulties are due to an identifiable disability. So this determination is based on a combination of standardized tests, observational data, and other relevant assessments to help to understand whether the student's challenges are due to disability rather than other factors. So for example, if a student shows significant difficulties in reading, the evaluation would include tests for dyslexia or other learning disability to see if these are the underlying causes of the struggle. So the 3 is whether if the students needs specially designed instruction. So the evaluation also determines if the students requires specially designed instruction, which is tailored educational services to meet their unique needs. So this involves modifying the content, methodology, or deliver for an instruction to help the students succeed. So this step is crucial because it identifies whether general education interventions are sufficient or if the students needs the additional support and resources provided by special education. So, for example, a student with significant reading difficulties might need specialized reading programs, assistive technology, or one-on-one instructions to help them learn effectively. So in summary, the comprehensive evaluation is a detailed process that gathers extensive information about the student's abilities, challenges, and needs. So it serves three main purposes. So the first is to establish the student's current academic and functional performance levels. And the second is to determine if the student has a disability, to identify if the student's needs specially designed instruction to address their unique educational needs. So this evaluation is to ensure that any decision about the special education services is based on a complete and accurate understanding of the student's profile. So it helps in developing an effective and individualized plan to support the student's educational progress. So this comprehensive evaluation step is essential in making informed decisions about the student's needs for special education services and ensuring they receive the appropriate support tailored to their specific needs. And the next is the step 4. So, as in assessing intellectual functioning, next we assess the student's intellectual functioning through standardized measure of IQ and academic functioning. Of course, here's the detailed explanation of the step involving the assessing of intellectual functioning. So, after deciding to conduct a comprehensive evaluation, a critical component of this evaluation is assessing the student's intellectual functioning. So this involves using standardized measures to gain a clear understanding of the student's cognitive abilities and academic performance. So in intellectual functioning, this part of the evaluation focuses on understanding the student's cognitive capabilities and how this impact their learning and academic performance. So the first is standardized measure of IQ. So to assess intellectual functioning, standardized IQ or intelligence quotient tests are used. These tests are designed to measure various aspects of intelligence, such as reasoning, problem solving, and memory. So the IQ score helps to determine the student's cognitive abilities compared to their peers. So it provides a quantifiable measures of intelligence, which is essential for identifying intellectual disabilities. And the second is the academic functioning. So in addition to the IQ test, the evaluation also includes an assessment of the student's academic functioning. So this involves looking at the student's performance in key academic areas such as reading, writing, math, and other subjects relevant to their grade level. So the goal is to understand how the student's cognitive abilities as measured by the IQ test translate into their academic skills and performance. So it helps to identify specific areas of academic difficulty. So in summary, this assessing intellectual functioning involves two main components. The first is the standardized measure of IQ. This provides a quantifiable assessment of the student's cognitive abilities, and IQ test scores help in identifying intellectual disabilities by comparing the student's cognitive performance to normative data. And the second is the academic functioning. So this involves evaluating the student's academic skills and performance. So it helps to understand how cognitive abilities impact academic achievements and identifies a specific area where the students may need support. So the purpose of this intellectual functioning is to gain a comprehensive understanding of the student's cognitive and academic capabilities. So this information is crucial in determining whether the student has significant impairments that qualify as an intellectual disability and in identifying the areas where they need special instruction. So this step is essential for diagnosing intellectual disabilities and for developing an effective educational plan tailored to the student's unique cognitive and academic needs. So It ensures that any identified disabilities are accurately assessed, allowing for appropriate intervention and support. So the step 5 is the validating IQ score. So we ensure that the IQ score is valid and meets the criteria. If it does, we proceed to determine the student's present academic performance level. So after conducting the standardized IQ test, the next step is to validate the IQ score to ensure it meets the necessary criteria for identifying an intellectual disability. So IQ score is valid and meets criteria. So this step involves confirming the accuracy of the appropriateness of IQ score obtained from the standardized test. So it ensures that the test was administered correctly, that the results are reliable, and that the scores accurately reflects on the student's cognitive abilities. So the IQ score must meet a specific eligibility criteria established for identifying intellectual disabilities. So with these criteria typically include a score significantly below the average range, usually an IQ score of around 70 or below, though this can vary slightly depending on the specific guidelines being used. So the decision box, yes, if the IQ score is valid, meaning it was obtained through proper testing procedures and reflects the student's true cognitive abilities, and it meets the criteria for intellectual disability. So the process moves forward. Proceed if the IQ scores is valid and meet criteria. So this means that the student's IQ scores confirms significant cognitive impairment aligning with the definition of intellectual disability. So the next step will involve further evaluation of other factors such as adaptive behavior and academic performance. So to complete the eligibility determination, the purpose of this step is to ensure the determination of an intellectual disability is based on a reliable and valid data. So by confirming that the IQ score is both accurate and meets the established criteria, the school can make informed decision about the student's eligibility for special education services. So for example, if a student undergoes an IQ test and scores is 68, this scores indicates that the significant cognitive impairment. The school will review the testing and procedures to ensure that the score is valid. So if the testing was conducted correctly and the scores accurately reflects that the student's abilities, it meets the criteria for intellectual disability. So in summary, the validating the IQ score is a critical step to ensure that the accuracy and appropriateness of the cognitive assessment. Only when the IQ score is confirmed to be valid and meets the specific eligibility criteria for intellectual disability. So thus the process moves forward. So this ensures that any decisions made about the student's needs for special education services are based on sound and reliable data. So this step emphasizes the importance of accuracy and reliability in assessing intellectual functioning. So this is ensuring that the determination of an intellectual disability is based on the valid evidence. So that's all for my topic for today, and thank you for listening.